1, ready.
كيف العيال؟ كيف العيال is a traditional greeting way used by Bedouins throughout the Arab world. Instead of greeting with how are you, they greet with how are the children. The traditional response is العيال بخير. All the children are well. I believe that we should be asking ourselves this question like no time before in history. Not only because children are future and they are going to build that future based on how well we prepare them today, but also because youth are members of the society and the present and should be seen as significant actors of creating today. So, today I'm going to offer and respond to that question as 18 years old. Where is my expertise coming from? Well, as an 18 years old man, I've spent 13 of them at schools. And this is going to be the focus of my talk today. How are youth doing as members of society? And how is education shaping that experience? So, one of my early clashes with the traditional Syrian education back home in Syria as a Palestinian refugees, I remember I did not do at one of my geography teacher exam, and he told me, Abuday, it's clear that you haven't prepared at all for this exam. What is your excuse, Abdul? I said, well, the world is changing every day, so I decided to wait until it settles down, and then I would start studying. Well, that was not the answer he's looking for. However, at that time, I was questioning the purpose of education and why I am here in this place that people call school, what I am doing here. And whenever I ask anyone, they respond with, for you to learn. But the question that follows for me is, what is learning? If I were to ask any of you here today, where have you learned the most? I am convinced that the majority of you, if you're being honest, will say, I have learned outside the classroom as much as I have learned inside the classroom, or even more. From this answer, we can conclude 3 results. 1, there are so many learning opportunities outside the classroom, and traditional education is ignoring them. And this leaves us as students with very limited learning experience. 2, we should reflect on the relevance of information that we are offering to our students at traditional schools in comparison with what is actually useful for them in real life. 3, we should reflect on how effective are the ways of learning or ways of teaching that we are offering to our students at traditional schooling. How do these effective ways of learning look like for me as an 18 years old man? Well, I believe there are 3 main characteristics, and they all make up the acronym ACT. 1, they are attractive. Effective ways of learning, they attract young people to study. How can we make learning attractive? By making it interesting. How do you make it interesting? By making it connective. Effective ways of learning show a student the connection between inside the classroom, between what they learn inside the classroom, and how does it apply outside the classroom. The 3rd one is transformative. Ways of learning should be transformative. They should transform a student in the way they think and the way they behave. They should transform them from being exam passers to critical, innovative, and creative thinkers and learners. I remember when I was at my home school in Syria, they offered me very traditional schooling that I have to pass exams, and that's it. For me, I believe that my school back home in Syria was not preparing me to pass the real-life exam. So I decided to look for something new. 3 friends of mine and I, we decided to create an initiative called مشروعنا بإيدنا. Our project is in our hand. The motto of the project was, young people can make a difference. We directly got so excited about the initiative. We aimed to encourage and engage Syrian youth to become active members of society. We aimed to encourage them to learn from the process of planning and carrying out projects, to become active and informed citizens. What happened? We contacted 18 NGOs, asking them, how could we help? One, at the end of the day, helped, or actually accepted our offer. We aimed to involve 150 young people between the age of 14 to 18. At the end of the day, only 7 came to the project. All of them were my best friends. That led me to ask the question, what went wrong? Why youth are not participating in these kind of social projects? So I did some research, and here's what I have found out. 1 out of 5 people say that their community values them. 69% of youth say that their opinions are not heard in adults-oriented communities. Young people do not feel valued anymore. Young people do not feel valued. When I realized that, I started to ask why we don't feel value as young people, and the conclusion that I got, something I will call conventional medical caring model, which is in our caring to young people, we react to symptoms in a state of caring about the patient as a whole. We do not treat young people unless they are sick. And if we continue in treating young people in this way, where we do not care about them unless they are sick, we do not value them unless they are facing a problem, if we keep sending them to schools, offer them limited learning opportunities, we will be faced with 2 undesired results. 1, young youth who exhibit high-risk behavior such as violence in order to gain attention. 2nd, youth who I see as the promise of flourishing present and future will be underprepared for real-life exams, unable to find solutions for global and local problems, and unable to be innovative and creative. So, when I figured out this fact, I decided my response was like, no, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to have high-risk behavior, and I want to be prepared for real-life exam. I started to look for an institution, a place, a school, whatever you want to call it, that is going to prepare me to succeed the real-life exam. 1, of being informed and active citizen and member of society. I started to look for a school where I'd be valued and treated with respect. I started to look for an environment that is going to encourage me and support me to learn and explore how to become an active member of society and a critical and innovative learner. That was the time when I got to know about Kurt Hahn's philosophy on progressive education. Hahn is a 20th century influential educator. He's German, and he said, the best way to motivate young people is to make them know that they are needed. He believed that the impact of youth could go beyond the local level, and the sky is the limit. Only and only if education breaks down the barriers between the world inside the classroom and the world outside the classroom, and offer for students freedom combined with trust, faith, and authentic responsibility, with a school environment that encourages and supports the student to explore and face personal challenges in order for them to learn how to become and think as change makers and social entrepreneurs. So, I would like to share with you one of my experiences that I have done at my school. This fall, a Pakistani friend of mine and I were discussing as 2 Muslims the aggressive reactions that were taking place by extreme Islamists as a response to an offensive video was made against our Prophet Muhammad. We were discussing how could we deliver a message of peace and tolerance to combat the stereotypes that all Muslims are terrorists or extremists. And while we were talking, suddenly from the other side of the room, my friend's roommate, Stepan, from the Czech Republic, came into the conversation and was like, I really like the idea. I'd like to help you guys. I can help you in creating a video if you like. This guy turned to be a very creative man in video making and design. So, what happened later, that this small idea of this small discussion between two Muslims turned to be a broader message of peace and tolerance and respect made by the people or my friends who they joined voluntarily to say and call for respect and understanding. After I've done this, I started to ask myself, we've done a video, we've done the use of power, and it was all done by us as students. Nobody asked us to do it. So I was wondering, I was trying to compare this experience with my early experience back home in trying to establish something to motivate the Syrian youth. Why here a small discussion turned to become a big idea and wish of spreading peace between people, and back home I really put a lot of effort and I could not really succeed or achieve the result that I want at least. And I concluded three main results. One, my friends at my new school, they feel valued and needed. And when you feel valued or needed, a sense of responsibility rises in your soul. Second, my friends at my school, they know and they believe that they are there to achieve more than academic excellence. They are there to achieve more than academic excellence, but also to learn from each other about world's problems and trying to be an activist in solving them. Three, the school itself believes that its purpose is more than achieving academic excellence, but also to provide freedom, opportunity, and responsibility to its students to explore and learn how to become active in society. And this is what I want to say today. Imagine with me a world where all youth feel valued and treated and respected. Imagine with me a world where all schools offer a curricula to its student based on a curricula for its student that is attractive, connective, and transformative. Imagine with me a society, the future and the present of a society that sees education as a force to unite people, as a force for youth empowerment. I believe that if that society could achieve that and could value young people and give them the opportunity to thrive and flourish, if that society was asked, كيف العيال? How are the children? I'm convinced that we'll be able to answer with confidence, العيال بخير. All the children are well. My new vision of the world is, if you want 1 year of prosperity, then you grow grains. If you want 10 years of prosperity, then you grow trees. If you want 100 years of prosperity, then you grow people. Thank you.
3, 2, 1.